The Sioux Falls School Board was recently updated on the more than 2,300 English language learners currently being served in public schools. While that number is impressive, it's nearly 1 out of every 10 students, it's the individual stories of these students that are the real eye-openers. In this episode of Senior Spotlight, we travel to Lincoln High School, where one student's journey, while already long and difficult, has only just begun.
Okay, and timid. Allez-y.
While he and his classmates work on descriptors, David Bizimana is actually relearning the French language.
Yeah, French is coming back because I'm taking French classes now. I knew so little because I was so young and I didn't know much. I knew like basic stuff, but now I'm learning bigger things like how do you say a TV or play ball, soccer, all that kind of stuff, activities kind of stuff, actions and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm learning now. It's getting better. It's getting there.
More on that in a minute. He's wearing this uniform because he came to French from JROTC, where Lincoln students are celebrating the 242nd birthday of the U.S. Marine Corps.
Why JROTC? My brother, he joined it. He told me it was fun. It was a fun class, and you get to experience a lot of stuff. And yes, I joined when I was a freshman. So yeah, I joined and it was pretty fun. Every single year there's new stuff, and the fun stuff is you get to have PT, let's say like a little gym class, because you get to learn like leaderships and all respect and all that lifestyle kind of stuff and all that kind of stuff. So it's an awesome class. I love it.
The rest of his classes this semester include composition, chemistry, a PE class, and U.S. government.
Right now, I think I'm doing really good in the classes, even though I'm a senior, it's supposed to be hard and stuff. But maybe next semester will be much harder than this semester. But I feel comfortable with the classes, and the classes are going pretty well.
He's the kind of student who does well.
I had David as a student since his freshman year. So I had him in English his freshman year, his sophomore year, and not his junior year, but he felt like he was still my student because he kept coming and asking for help on his homework or whatever he had going on. He's definitely an engaged learner, and once we figured out how to channel all of his good energy, he's really a nice student to have. He's a great leader for the other students. He's a good example of persistence and grit. He never gives up. He's willing to learn from his mistakes and come back and just do it better next time.
Not to put too fine a point on it, but students like David make teachers want to teach.
Isn't it every teacher's dream when you go to school that all your learners will be engaged and they're going to be so excited to come to class, and then you do your student teaching and you realize that's not always the truth. Not everybody loves learning as much as we do as teachers in our American culture, sadly, but our ELL students are so appreciative of the chance to get a quality, good education. Their grit, their perseverance, their willingness to do everything everybody else is doing in a language they're not familiar with. It's awesome.
That brings us back to David's languages. English is the 4th language he speaks if you count the French he's still working on.
My language is, it's not just English. I've been living here for 10 years, 11 years now, probably most of my life, actually. The first language I started with, I always lived with, it was Kirundi, and then when I went to school back in Tanzania, we learned French. So French is probably my second one. It's supposed to be my second one, which I don't speak that much anymore. Kind of forgot when I came here, all that English and stuff gets in your head. And then my third language is Swahili. It's it's like a main Tanzanian language in Tanzania. So Kirundi is from Burundi, which where my dad is from, and my mom's from Tanzania, which she speaks Kirundi and Swahili. So it was all, let's say, two languages in the country. So yeah, it was just something that I got used to because I lived with it, and the language is just, once you live with the language that's spoken everywhere, you get used to it. I was born in Tanzania, East Africa. I lived there for probably 5 years, since when I was 5. So I didn't really live there for so long. But yeah, so then when I lived in Tanzania, we didn't move because of a war. We just immigrated. So we came from Tanzania to America, but when we came to America, we lived in Miami first. We lived there for 5 months. We didn't know anybody in Miami, so it was a very huge place, and nobody that's your own kind and that you speak the same language. And so then after that we came in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So we knew some family members and some friends that we lived in the same place in Africa, in Tanzania.
It's not an experience that many can relate to, being uprooted at a young age and thrust into a new culture, surrounded by a language you don't understand. How much English did you speak when you got to Sioux Falls?
I didn't speak any English. It was just blah 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 blah. I started speaking English second grade at Jane Adams, and then I went to LBA, my second elementary school, and I just had to keep learning because if you're gonna live in a country, you're gonna have to know the language and know how to speak to each other. And it was very hard to learn the language because they said they always say English is the hardest language. It was very, very hard, and I just had to keep learning and listen to what the teachers said, even though I was kind of naughty back in the day. But I was, I just had to find a way to understand the language, and I watch PBS Kids, all that kind of stuff. I just, watch, my favorite show was Super Y. Yeah, that one teach me a lot on speaking English and the words and all that kind of stuff. It's very helpful.
He came from Tanzania, and he was able to go to school there for a little bit, and then he came here in elementary school not knowing any English. So the fact that now 6, 7, 8 years later he's done so well is really just impressive. I'm sure I couldn't do it in Swahili the way he did. And Swahili is not his only other language.
His schools and teachers helped him gain English proficiency. And along the way...
Well, yeah, it's been a good year. We have a good group of boys that have been together for 4 years now. We've had a couple of setbacks the last couple of years, just falling short of winning the state title. We ended up playing Aberdeen in the finals. They were on a 29-game unbeaten streak, playing at home. So they had a huge home field advantage, and we ended up beating them 3-1 in the final. So it was kind of a awesome year to get that underdog win.
He helped lead the Lincoln boys soccer team to a state title in October.
It was amazing season. Yeah, we started off very well from the season. We just, when we practice, we just gotta put all the effort and all the work in, and you gotta listen to what the coaches says and all that kind of stuff, because it's gonna lead you to success, of course. So nothing like before, because I have played Lincoln soccer for 4 years now, and when I was a freshman, my brother he played defense, and so then I came to try out because I really loved football and soccer and stuff. So I came to try out, and you know, the coach liked me, so, you know, he started playing me on JV because I was like a freshman. So I started playing freshman year, and then I started off with defense because that's where all the players start, I guess, if you don't know your position. But yeah, I started off there, and I kept building up. Then, you know, that time, varsity won the state champ 2014, and yeah, and now it's my year to win now because my brother won his year. So, see, my senior year, I have to win it too as well. So, it was my goal since 4 years. So I was like, I can't wait to win another trophy one day. Yeah.
You know, we've been with the program for 4 years, so they knew our expectations. But every year we ask our boys to set an example of what it means to be a Lincoln soccer player. That's, you know, coming to practice, being leaders on and off the field in the classroom. And just being those guys that, you know, on the field are those leaders. They step forward and take charge and lead by example. David played a huge role for us this year. Last year, he had missed a lot of practices due to some external conflicts. And so he struggled a bit last year just because he wasn't there for our game plans and our strategies. He's always had that talent and that drive and awesome athletic ability, but just didn't know how to flow with our team. So this year he stepped up. He's gotten a lot bigger in the off season, lifting weights, doing track, and being at practice every day this year. He knew exactly what to do on the pitch, and it showed. His speed, athleticism, and his goal scoring ability led us to where we wanted to be at the end of the season.
When one season ends, another begins. It's 10:15 p.m. and David is practicing with his Dakota Alliance team at the Sanford Fieldhouse this Tuesday night. His academic and athletic success lead to open doors.
Next year, I may go to college, but right now I still got to take my ACTs and all that kind of stuff and get a very good score in it. And so I think I've been thinking about going to Dakota Wesleyan because one of the coaches came to our, I think it was our semifinal game. So yeah, he talked to me and all that kind of stuff, so I'm still getting in touch with them. Otherwise, there's other colleges that I'm offered to, and there's like many out there and stuff. Yes, soccer. Yeah, I just want to keep it up and see what kind of level I can be. And my main goal is to become a professional. So yeah, I hope that one day it will happen. Yes, I have been playing since when I was 3, probably in my mom's belly, but I mean, that's what she told me. I've always loved football. I feel like it was, you know, I was born with it, you know, like in my blood and stuff. So yeah, it's life, I guess. But yeah, football is my life.
He was what we call our Golden Boot winner. So he led our team in goals. Based off stats, I would think he probably had I think 17 or 18 goals for us this year. So it was heavily our Golden Boot winner. But it's just his pace and his work off the ball that opened up the play for other players. So without him and his role on the team, we wouldn't have gotten where we needed to be. So he played a huge role this year for our soccer team. We've known his family for quite a while now. He has some older brothers and younger brothers that we've had. And so we've always had that bond with them on and off the field. But he stepped up big time this year, just coming to practice, showing that, hey, as a senior, you need to come to practice every day and put in that work day in and day out, no matter, you know, if you're tired, sick, got a lot of schoolwork. He showed that on and off the field. He's not so much of a verbal leader, it's more of kind of like, I'm going to lead by example. And just his work ethic on and off the pitch showed that what you need to put in to be successful Lincoln soccer player.
Success can mean different things at different times. Last year, David's job, which supports his family, was less conducive for getting to every Lincoln soccer practice, and his dedication to his family hasn't ebbed.
As a student, we've been blessed to have him on for the last 4 years. His little brother would come to our games and sit with us on the bench, and he plays a big role at home. His parents work a lot and work overnights. So he's not only a leader on the field, he's a leader at home. As a teacher, I've had connects with his little brother's teachers, and I've gone to David to say, hey, I want you to step up at home and, you know, show a good example for your little brother. So we commend him, you know, not only on the pitch, but off the pitch of being what it means to, be that bigger, older brother. So
Moving to Sioux Falls was unforgettable for David.
We moved to Sioux Falls and it was really cold. We didn't, the weather was just crazy. Like never before. It was just so cold. We just had to get at least probably like three coats on, because I was like a little skinny kid that time, and it was really, really cold, and we're not used to the weather, the snow and that kind of stuff.
For more than just that reason.
I'm very happy because we had a huge opportunity of us, like my family, moving to America and experiencing a new life and all that kind of stuff. Because the life we were living in wasn't so easy, because we didn't have enough food, enough let's say like shelter and all that kind of stuff. We didn't have much stuff to live with, and yeah, we still have families back in Tanzania, but the life we had, it wasn't so good. So yeah, I'm glad that we made they made that move to have us have a better education and better life. It was some kind of miracle, because we wouldn't done it without the people who helped us. We lived in an apartment when we first moved in. We didn't have like money with us or anything. We weren't really any money that we can like pay them back, but now we pay them back now, because we experienced the life, and we work now and we can like repay it back, and we're very, very thankful of the people who helped us, because it wasn't so easy. It wasn't so easy for us to live in Sioux Falls. We really thank those people, who help us. But yeah, I'm very thankful that I'm actually here, and I'm living a better life, and for me to get a better education, and keep moving up and help others too as well, just like the people that helped me.
Now he's paying back in ways he doesn't even realize.
I know that group is always pretty tight, and I mean his church group, his cultural church group. I have other students involved too, and so when I get invited to a wedding or a graduation party, it's like going to a family reunion. There's food and singing and dancing, and he knows everybody, and he's willing to introduce me to everybody, so I don't feel like the outsider when I go to these events as well. No kidding, he's like my family when I go to these things.
And from a tumultuous past comes a brilliant future.
he has that work ethic and obviously the God-given talent and athletic ability to go. His ceiling is, there's no ceiling for him. So he's got to keep that work ethic up, that drive. And I see that in him, that he's got the possibility to go to the professional level if he wants. So we hope to keep in contact with him and see where he goes. But I don't see him not playing for the MLS someday.
Limitless. Whatever he wants to do, he'll be able to do it because he'll figure out a way to do it. And he's got the family support to do it. All of our ELL students, but especially that family too, when you go through what they've gone through in their past, certain struggles just don't phase them anymore. They can just see the light and come up with a plan and do it, execute the plan.
David too, I think like we expect from all our players, which we don't always get, is that we want our kids to be student athletes, be that leader on and off the field. And David exudes that. He's a strong leader, does the right thing, puts in the work on and off the field. And he's just a great guy to talk to. His backstory and what he's gotten through in life to get where he's at today is just tremendous. A lot of us take what we got for granted, where David's putting that work in, and I applaud him on his character. That's what I think is best about David. Not only his ability, and watch him on the soccer field is amazing, but to sit down and talk to him, yeah, great young man.